Welcome home. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Epoxy, and this is something I've wanted to discuss and get all your thoughts on before Fallout 4's release on November 10th, and what I'm talking about is the paid mods. So there's a straw poll link in the descripciones below for whether or not you think paid mods will be returning for Fallout 4. However, I think you should stick around until the end of the video if you want to hear my thoughts. So, if you're unaware, a few months back, Bethesda and Valve introduced a paid mod system within the Skyrim Workshop, allowing modders to actually monetize their content, and of course, giving a larger sum of the cut to both Bethesda and Valve. And if you're at all aware of how vocal some of the people can be in this community and how big of a backlash this would get, this of course blew up to an unexpected level, resulting in copyright infringement, people bashing the revenue shares, and even going as far as death threats being sent out to not only Bethesda and Valve, but even the modders who wanted to monetize their content, who honestly should have the full right to do so, and you shouldn't be saying that their hard work and effort into making a mod that you're spending hours playing with isn't worth being monetized. I think that that's just a ridiculous statement, but I do understand why some people would get upset over this and why some people kind of, have some negative thoughts against this, because we as gamers already spend a lot of money. We spend $70, $80 on the game itself. We spend money on the Season Pass or DLC, which costs us about this price of the game itself again. We pay for microtransactions. We get nickeled and dimed like crazy. And the amount that we already spend on a video game, a AAA video game by itself, is already ridiculous. And it's honestly getting to the point where it's just honestly out of this world, where literally games like Tomb Raider will have over 300 microtransactions, which is honestly just pathetic. And I think it does need to stop. I think it's kind of gone a little bit too far. But it's going to be something that we continue to see, especially with making video games becoming a little bit more expensive. So yes, this did go way too far, and yes, it was actually removed from the Steam Workshop. However, Bethesda hasn't actually completely moved on from this idea, and I'm nearly positive we can actually expect to see this feature return to not just the Steam Workshop, but also Bethesda.net that will actually host the mods for console players. Back when this feature was removed due to the backlash, Bethesda as a company and Pete Hines himself actually did speak out about the backlash about this feature, and also spoke a little bit about the feature. In quotes, "I think our stance on it is that we're going to reevaluate it going forward," Hines said. "I think that we feel like there is a case that can be made that people who spend a lot of time working on mods ought to have a way to actually monetizing what they're doing." Certainly some folks that we've talked to were very interested in and supportive of the idea. We had creators who said, "I've been asking for donations for years and never saw anything, and I had made more in one day, so why would I not support that?" End quote. And of course they were referring to the fact that they made more in one day than they had seen for years of asking for donations, which is honestly actually ridiculous, especially because they were only earning 25% off of the paid mods. And what he had to say is actually very true, as Nexus Mods itself is trying to make PayPal donations more intrusive than ever, as practically nobody donates to mod authors, sadly enough. A lot of the time, they don't even leave feedback on the mod. Most often, people just download and leave. I wouldn't honestly be surprised at all if people didn't even know the name of the author of who made the mod that they're spending hours playing with. Now, I don't think that Bethesda is actually going to force this feature down our throats, nor are they focusing on it at the time. In quotes, "Honestly, we have bigger fish to fry right now than sorting that out," said Hines, both referring to the paid mods and focusing on Fallout 4. However, Fallout 4 has now gone gold today, meaning the game is finished and all packaged up. So unless they are leaving this feature behind for good, which it doesn't sound like they were planning to, we could be seeing paid mods possibly even at the same time of the Gex release for Fallout 4, which will be releasing around early 2016. Now, if you're currently still thinking that Bethesda doesn't plan to bring paid mods back, then why would they go through all of the trouble with Bethesda.net, talking with Sony and Microsoft, and putting all that together to get mods onto consoles if it's not going to benefit them in any way? The work that was actually needed to get this feature in place is more than they would actually earn from it being a selling point of the game, and honestly the only way it would make sense business wise would be having paid mods as a feature, or simply getting your fans to love you, which isn't really needed for Bethesda in my opinion. But who knows, maybe it actually won't return, and maybe they've kind of, you know, tried to work it out but just couldn't figure out how to work it out so that the community wouldn't backlash them again over the feature. So as stated earlier in this video, there is a straw poll link in the description below for whether or not you think paid mods will be returning for Fallout 4. But anyways guys, that's actually it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, please smack that like button down below and subscribe to join the good fight. It'd be super greatly appreciated. But until next time, this is Epoxy signing off.
On the way down screaming.